All right, we're back. We've collectively decided that we're gonna wait and see what the result of that 13 looks like, cause you know, fuck it.
We're terrible.
It's our game, that's why.
Yeah, it's our game and we'll fuck it up as much as we like. And it was pointed out that we need to see how Give is doing. So, I love this. Because it ties so beautifully together. Give, you said that Jakabaka was a powerful wizard and very skillful and good. So, yeah. So I think the next thing you hear about is like you hear people like cheering for Jakabaka, like being like, "It's Jakabaka! She's here! She's here! She's going to show us how to cook! She's going to show us how to cook!" All of the and like you know like yelling about like that she's going to show us how to do magic potions and things, right? And yeah, and you probably you hear these people like making this big hullabaloo as they like almost like parade her down the like main aisle of the shopping center, or what was once the shopping center and is now Paradise Lost. And yeah, they're doing all this cheering. Yeah, cool. We've just jumped straight ahead. It's so good. So yeah, they're cheering and everything, and you hear a voice on your radio, and this is probably like a day or two later, right? Like you've been like hiding out, right? We've skipped forward like a day or so. And you've been hiding out, and you hear all of this commotion, whether it's over your radio or like you're listening through the vents or whatever. And they've taken Jakabaka to what was once like the deli counter of a supermarket, and you hear them cheering and things, and there's this one person like leading the cheer. And eventually, you hear them all like come to a like I think they've got some drums going, and it all just comes to a stop. And you hear the sound of like some kind of curtain being drawn or something, and this leader voice calls out, "Behold, Jakabaka! Show us! How shall we gain all of the magics out of these things?" And you just hear Jakabaka like shriek in horror and disgust.
Oh no.
Jakabaka, the greatest wizard among us! Show us! How shall we gain these magics?
Jakabaka the Gustomancer! Yay!
Oh no. Oh no, I know what's in the deli counter. Oh, this game is so gross. Fuck. Okay. Cool. Yep. I wait.
So yeah, there's this sound of horror and disgust, and yeah, and you start hearing like a bit of commotion, like there's confusion, and then it starts to become commotion as there's this confusion why Jakabaka won't like disperse the magics of these things, make them, you know, process them, do the magic to them so that they can gain the powers from these things. And I think you hear like someone like calls out, "Mighty Warlock, Master Yowie, why does she not give us the magics?" And yeah, and it starts.
What do they call out? What do they call out?
They called out to their leader, who they're calling Mighty Warlock and Master Yowie.
Okay, but is that name familiar? We've seen someone seen someone with that name on screen. Why don't I remember? Can anyone help me here?
I can tell you something vitally important in that I have pissed Yowie the fuck off.
Oh. But why? Oh, why don't I remember this? Please help. Someone
Yowie
help.
was established in episode 0 as the person that
Isn't Yowie just someone from Jimmy's like set of choices about the radio station, and although we've never seen them on screen.
Yes.
Right. That's literally all we know. That you've pissed him off.
Yep.
Right?
Yep, that's all we know.
Okay, that's all we know. Okay. Wow, okay. So, I don't feel like I would know that. I don't feel like I would know that. Unless I know whatever story that links to because I heard it on the radio.
I would say that I reckon that you've probably heard me talk about Yowie and the man in the same
Okay.
sentence.
Okay.
Like not in the same
So I have
sentence.
a vague sense that
I think
Yeah,
the things that you know
there.
are that Yowie and the man, once upon a time, were aligned in some way, and that there was a falling out, and that Yowie came to Mito, and Mito did not respond in the way that was
Right.
expected, and Yowie went out into the swamps.
Okay. Not back to the man. Went out into the swamps.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's all. That's all
Okay.
you know.
Yeah, that's all I know. Okay. So I know this person is potentially dangerous and probably not aligned with Mito or the man. Okay. I think like I imagine by this point that I'm like at a vent that like looks down into the supermarket, into the like where the deli counter is, because I think I've been like following the procession along like through the vents or something. And so yeah, I'm like looking out through the grate or whatever, trying not to look too hard at the. Actually, no, I'm a kid. I stare at the counter, and you know, whatever is on it and in it, which I'm gonna take a wild guess and assume that it's people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Well, I'm a
it's like
kid,
a-
so I stare intently,
Yeah,
horrified.
There's like someone's head stares glassy.
Yeah. All right.
It's a beautiful tableau
I get it.
directed by Brian Fuller and the team from Hannibal. Enough said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. You can all imagine it. It's fine.
Yeah.
And Jackabacker is there.
Yep. She's
Does
crying.
she look... Okay. Does she look like she is?
No, she's not crying. Jackabacker doesn't fucking cry.
Nah, she's pretty tough. Does she look like she's been
She's
restrained?
trying to fight
in any
her
way?
way free.
Yeah,
Okay. So
she
people,
is.
like physically
Rocket
holding her?
Jackabacker.
Yeah, well, people are trying. Yeah, kind
Or
of.
just
They're kind of
feeling-
like swamping her, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
Because they have this
Teach us,
strong religious
Jackabacker.
belief in
Teach
her
us.
as an almost Virgin Mary-like figure, right?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. What can I do here? What am I gonna do? Ooh. Okay. All right. Do this shit. So in the break, I took a new move because I filled my experience bar, and in keeping with some good advice, I took the Mother's Heartbeat. And there is an option here that could allow me to save my friend. So I am gonna go for that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna attempt that. So yeah, I think this is kind of like, as far as what it looks like, I think this is a bit of this is an involuntary thing. This isn't a thing that Give has done before, or at least not like on screen.
Yeah.
And I think it's a case of like the radio, like at some point during this commotion, the radio like clicks on, and starts to play some music. And then like and of course, you know, as always, like the idea, only Give is hearing this, but like, without them sort of doing anything, the music is just kind of like, the volume is just going up. It's just getting louder and louder, like to the point where it's starting to distort. And Give is just kind of like staring down through the grate, like at the counter and at Jakabaka and at everybody like moving around, and
For some reason,
eventually.
I feel like this track
Yeah?
is something like is something of Kveka.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if it is narratively because
Because
I think
because of the like rising of the bow on the guitar strings.
yeah, that's true.
I mean,
well, maybe I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm totally picturing Threnody for the victims of Hiroshima.
I don't know that either.
Oh, it's this like
Kanaraki.
incredibly uncomfortable, intense song that's just like a lot of
Right.
like really like discordant, that's what I'm picturing.
I feel like all of the thing is that all of Gibbs' music comes from
Nito.
like Gibb doesn't have or from Sunrise in the form of either like lullaby
Right,
songs.
yeah.
Oh shit!
rock
Oh,
and roll,
can I propose what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Since
I'd
the
actually
move
like
is
to hear
called
what-
The Mother's Heartbeat, right?
What were you
I
gonna say?
think it's the lullaby that Sunrise used to like hum for you
Right.
Oh,
when you
yeah.
first came to them.
Yeah.
And
You know, it
I'm
absolutely
picturing
is
it
that.
for the reference of everyone who wants to look it up after the show. I'm totally picturing Mercedes' lullaby from Pan's Labyrinth. That really
Oh,
eerie
yeah, right.
hummed main theme from Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's rising and starting to get all like distorted and like metallic
Oh.
sounding and really like ugh.
Yep.
Sorry, Emmy,
Yeah.
I totally interrupted you.
No, that's okay. Yeah, I really love that. But it's like I don't think it's in Sunrise's voice. I think it's like a recorded version of the song. But
It's the original.
yeah, exactly. It's the original. Yeah, so it's like this quite. It's like a little bit eerie, but it's not sort of suspenseful as such. And it starts to rise up like until it's covering the sound of all of the people, and they're just kind of like moving their mouths. And I'm gonna kind of like attempt to involuntarily like pull into it because the sound is sort of like getting right all around me, and I want to pull into it, and I want to pull Jakabaka with me.
Go for it.
Okay.
I love this move.
On. Yes.
Yes!
Yeah.
Ooh,
Success. 10 balls.
rocking it.
Okay. So
Rocking it is kind of like a war for resources.
on a 10 plus, choose 2. You can bring someone in and out with you. So this is when you withdraw into the world's psychic maelstrom. You can bring someone in and out with you. You can re-emerge in a different place altogether.
Cool. I think I'd like to cut.
That
Yes.
interacts
This
so
is
well with Morning's
absolutely what
thing,
we're doing.
though.
Yeah.
Oh,
Morning. You've rolled a 13.
yeah, right. Yeah. So, yeah, when you open your brain to the worlds, blah blah blah. On a 12 plus, you reach
Oh.
through the world's psychic maelstrom to what's beyond it.
Cool. Awesome.
Yep. I'm going adventuring, everyone. Ash,
You...
off forth some apocalyptica, please.
It would be really good if you had a living person in this room. It would make this scene a lot easier for me to narrate. Right.
I apologize.
Gosh. All right. You follow the voice out, and you realize that. Oh gosh.
And
You
I've broken
see-
it.
You see yourself, like, you step back, right? And some part of you that is, I think the part that's been, like, resisting and holding on, right? The bit that's been blocking the voices from just controlling, right?
Yep.
What is it from the stories, the songs, the ways of the people that you grew up with when you were a child? What part of them, what part of the lore of your people, of the songs of your people, of the heart of your people, what is it that stops you from taking orders?
Oh.
Right? What part of your culture stops you from taking orders?
Oh, fuck. That's a good question.
Because that's the part of you that is currently active. This is the part of you that is seeing. This is the part of you that follows through the door, right? Because most of all of these actions so far have been not that. They have been Sunrise. They've been the autopilot version of a puppet from Sunrise.
Yeah, totally. And this is like it's the V for Vendetta thing, right? The last inch of you.
Yeah.
Right? It's
Definitely.
that bit. I think...
Is there some part of your culture that holds that together for you?
I think it's not... Okay, and here I'm actually going to get specific about some stuff that we haven't been specific about before. In terms of Dawn's...
Who Dawn was. Oh, you're roboting, buddy.
Right? Because we haven't talked about that yet.
You're a bit robot. You're a bit cutty. Your internet not so good.
Sorry. Oh no! Am I back now?
Yes,
back?
I think so. Or
cool. I'm
yeah.
at very. I might quickly buzz to the housemates to make
do that.
Sure that internet use is not being done.
While that's happening, the soundtrack, I'm posting a link in the chat right now. The song that I see all of this happening to, from the fade in from the lullaby to the pull in of Jakabaka being pulled into the maelstrom, and the soundtrack that we hear as this all goes through is a Dream Theater song. It's going to be Pull Me Under by Dream Theater is the soundtrack to what's going on, awesome. I think.
I mean, here's the thing, though. It specifically can't be... Like, if there's music happening for this sequence, it has to be something from Dawn's culture.
Oh, yeah, no, we can absolutely throw some...
But, Luke, did you want to try again?
So I've sent that message and hopefully it'll help. So I think one of Dawn's parents was Filipino, or Filipina. I think it was their mother. And one of their parents was white, was Anglo. But somewhere, probably not like that long back, like a couple of generations back, there was probably like an indigenous ancestor on that side of the family.
Indigenous
under
Australian,
whatever, under whatever kind of circumstances. Yeah. And I think on their mother's side of the family, they had, or like this was the family story, right? Like they had a famous great grandparent who fought in the successful indigenous campaign against Magellan when the Spanish tried to take the Philippines for the first time and got like the shit kicked out of them in like a week flat. And like supposedly, right, so like they definitely had an ancestor who was involved in that. Probably the family mythology is like, oh yeah, and like one time this person like fought with Magellan himself, like in hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah.
And so like on that side of the heritage, there is like a really strong like resistance against like oppressive colonialist forces like narrative. And I think their Anglo heritage is by way of the Irish.
Right, yeah.
And is by way not even of like the very first Irish wave with the first fleet, but all the Irish who got shipped over after the Irish Revolution, the Castle Hill Rebellion failed. So like the 1804 Irish mob.
Yeah.
And then like the indigenous, right? Like, so like everything about like all of their culture really is about like the like deep defiant, like fundamental rejection of colonialism and
Yeah.
like oppression and that kind of oppression. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, it's just like this visceral, deep-seated part of them is just like, no, like
Yeah.
fuck that.
Cool. So yeah. So
And
you're
I think the sound that characterizes this, and I think this is the point where we place it. It's not cicadas, and it's never been cicadas. It's the buzzing of some kind of like jungle insect from the Philippines,
yeah, right.
and
Yeah.
it's that into the didgeridoo, and that's
Yeah.
that's the sound that anchors this whole scene.
Yeah, that's cool. So yeah, you step outside and you follow this voice, and you step through this door, and for you, you like because you're being that right. You step into this battlefield, right? And there are
Yeah.
all of these people raging on all these different sides, and for a moment, that's all the world is, right? Everyone around you that you know from the real world is here in this fight between against this like oppressor, and then you kind of realize that this is all bent out of shape, and you flatten it out, right? This is the bit where you flatten out the thing that is happening whenever you've been opening your brain, right? And you smooth it out and you see it all as drawings on a page or words or music, right? And you realize that it only looks like that
Oh,
to you
Ash.
because of who you were.
Ash, is it fucking it's like pictographic art, right? Like it's a mixture of like Celtic knotwork type stuff and like Ogham runes and like Pictish that kind of shit with like indigenous like it's
Oh,
carvings.
you've roboted. Oh,
On
you're
a-
good. You're back. Yeah. But you realize that it's only looking like that because it's you, right? But what you see is all of these other things
Yeah.
like moving over the paper. And I think you see the voices like moving towards one. And we drop down and we see this force hovering over the paper, and it folds back up, and this time it's not your history, it's a beach with some like handsome blonde man and woman like holding a surfboard and all of these sorts of things, and we see Give just like pull someone up to be like at their feet, right? And you look around and you're seeing that this is so tricky because Give is there with themselves and Jakabaka is there with themselves, and you realize that whenever you've been whenever you've opened your brain as Sunrise, you like look down and you see this like mirror them, and you realize that that's what you've been every time you've opened your mind.
Can I
Yeah.
can I make a request though?
Yeah.
I think there's only one of me.
There's only one of Give. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think you like spend this time like lost and wandering around, and you go and look to Tao, I think. And Tao, I think, is
Yeah.
where you see it. Is that Tao is standing there in the world, right? And then you're standing in this phase shifted out version where Tao is also there. Right? And he's in both places. But this one is not Tao. It is the other Tao. And I think what happens is that Tao does a thing that you taught them to do, which is to open their brain. And what happens is they switch places.
Oh.
Right? And you watch
Oh.
And Tao like looks around and sees this part of you here, and is like, "What does Tao call you?" Does
Lola, probably.
yeah.
Also,
so Tao like looks up and goes, "Oh, Lola, I thought you were here." And like Tao doesn't seem to realize that they've done this weird thing and that their body is now being steered by the other Tao.
Yeah, right.
And they're like looking around, being like, "Oh." And then they're like, "What's going on? There are no wolves here at the moment." And they like look at you confused, right? Like he looks at you like, "Lola, this is weird. This should be." They've left the forest.
Yeah, I think I like grab him. I not grab. Grab is a very aggressive word, right? Like I think I fold him into an embrace like I used to when he was very young. And I reach into his body and pull the other Tao out and put him back in.
Cool. So what happens then is you just forced him to stop opening his brain, basically.
Yeah, I know.
Right? Yeah, but yeah.
I think what I say to him, like as I do this, is I'm like, it's not safe.
Yeah.
Stay out of this place till we can talk.
Yeah.
And I kind of point like down there.
Yeah. And I think the reason that you do this is you know that the moment of that swap, I think you hear the voice rushing towards, right?
Yeah.
And you're holding him and you're protecting him as you do this. In that moment of vulnerability. The problem you have is you know that this part of you is the only thing that's keeping the voice from steering what was once a live body and is now some haunted husk. And I think you can see now, like once that voice rushes towards you, you look around and you realize that this place is filled with all of these people who don't have a real one and want to be in a body.
Someone.
Yeah. And some of you, such as Sunrise, have worked out how to steer something, but it doesn't feel. If only they could get close enough. If only they could be there when someone just steps out of their body for a second.
And you say like the voice is rushing towards me.
That's yours. That's your wolf, specifically.
Yeah, no, totally. And like, does it have a body?
Its body.
Or is it just a voice? Or is it in its body?
All of these shapes of people that don't have bodies in the real world are just going around looking to see if someone slips out, right?
Yeah. So there's like a person who I don't recognize who is my voice coming towards me.
Yeah.
Yep, cool.
And they're the ones that are steering around your dead body. The only reason that you're not basically under their control is because some part of your autopilot has too much in it.
Yeah. I look down. Do I have my weapons with me?
No. You barely have like, unlike everyone else here, you barely have
I don't have
limbs.
a body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because everyone else here is their understanding of what a person is.
Yeah. And I'm part of a person.
Not a whole one.
Yeah.
You are the bit that makes the autopilot not give in.
Yeah.
Yuck.
And yeah, I think the fact that there's only one give, when like give pulls two.
I have thoughts about that, so
Do you wanna
Like,
Give pulse 2
don't go into it
Jack-o'-lantern's
too
3.
much, but yeah.
Yeah.
give?
But there's only one of me.
Shall we skip back to give and just play that little scene out?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, we're
What
just
shot?
we're just on like a weird spirit journey now.
We're just
It's
on a weird
cool.
spirit journey
Yeah,
now,
I
altogether.
love it.
That's fine.
Sweet.
Give.
And it's great because who knows what weird spirit journey Jimmy is on as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
So yeah,
A
do you
different
only have one?
Yeah. There's just one of me.
Yeah. But two Jackaback. But like you pull Jackabacker,
two
and Jackabacker is then
yeah.
sitting next to the Jackabacker that was already there in the other world.
Yeah, and that is confusing to me. I think Give feels like I'm supposed to, like there's something niggling that's like I this should make sense. I should know why there's two, but I can't quite work it out.
Yeah.
But I sort of dismiss it. I just know that it's vaguely dangerous that there's two, and that we can't stay here.
Yeah. You can't stay here next to the like these two people that are like standing there. Are they real? Are they wolves, or are they imaginary? Because they don't have bodies in the real world.
Do you mean the people when you say these two people? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Idealized
the,
parents.
The idealized parent figures.
Yeah.
Tell me a bit about them.
Yeah. Okay.
Because they don't look like wolves to me. They don't seem to be hungry to get into a body.
No. They're always there. So as soon as I, you know, it's happened a bit of a different way to usual. I don't usually sort of get pulled in or go in to this space like that, you know, with the music coming up and everything. And I've never gone there with somebody else. It's like my tunnels. I can't take people into my tunnels, but somehow this worked this time, and I could just grab Jackabacker and pull her through the tunnel. And I sort of, as I come in, I kind of I see them. They're always there. They're there waiting when I come in. They kind of they greet me, but they don't say anything. But I know that's what they're doing. And it's like every time I come in, I realize I'd forgotten about them, and I remember them again. And I go, oh yeah, here they are. Yeah, they're here. That's right. Of course they're here. They're always here. They're always watching. And I think that's what they do here. They just stand at the kind of gate, and they watch me come in, and they watch me go out, and they watch what I do, and they're just there, pretty comforting. And I think like I've pulled Jackabacker with me, so there's this weird sort of moment where I feel like maybe I have to tell Jackabacker who they are, or tell them who Jackabacker is, but I don't know really how to do any of that. And I think so. The two Jackabackers, do they look the same?
They're
they look
mirrors.
different?
They're mirrors of each other.
They're mirrors of each other, but they both look like real solid people.
Yep. Except I think if you look into the other Jackabacker's eyes, you realize that they just are like just white.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So I think I know that the other one is a wolf, even if I don't know what that means.
Yep.
So
Or a thing
yeah,
like a wolf. Yeah.
a thing like a wolf, something like a wolf.
Yeah.
And so I reach out and I take the real Jackabacker's hand. And I kind of like pull her arm so that she like leans down.
I think the
To
other
me?
Jackabacker is like shielding them from view, like the real Jackabacker, right? Is trying to make sure that no one notices what's happening.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. So are they also stopping me from getting to her, or?
No.
they're just- okay.
They're aware that what's happening right now is very dangerous, and they're trying to make sure that something doesn't happen.
Okay.
They're trying to make sure that no one notices what's happening.
Okay. So yeah, I think I'd pick up on that, and so yeah, like pull her arm so that she leans down.
Yeah.
And I whisper to her, and I'm like, we have to go to somewhere else to get out. But you have to not be weird.
Yeah. And Jackabacker's like, yeah, it's like, all right, child, I can do that.
Just look like happy and stuff.
She's like, she like nods, like, okay.
And I look up and I look around at like, because I think there are other people on the beach. Like there are, people milling around, doing beach things, making sandcastles, eating ice cream,
Yeah,
whatever.
they're all clearly not even people, right? Like they're all like holograms, right?
Oh yeah, but they're how they always look to me, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's like,
But maybe we now see it like through Jakabaka's eyes, right?
yeah, we see it through Jakabaka's eyes, and it's all just they're all just
Yeah.
pop up, right?
Yeah, but they look totally like normal, real people to me.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
This is what they always look like.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Oh, no,
I
no,
like
sorry,
say to
no,
her,
we said, sorry. They look like pop up through Morning's eyes.
yes, yeah, yeah. I think they look like clearly off. They would probably look clearly off
to
in some way to
Jakabaka,
Jakabaka.
but
But
but your cultural projection here is strong in this place.
exactly. So so I like, and I'm clearly like really tense because I haven't fully comprehended what the danger is, but I know that there is a real danger because something about like this is not how this is supposed to happen, and I've broken a rule or something.
Yeah.
So I'm like staring at her really intently, and I'm like, and I like point to the distance, and I think there's like a kiosk or something up ahead.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we have to go to the kiosk, and we have to ask for ice cream, but we can't let anybody see us be weird. And then I like pull her hand, and like sort of like, I think I pull her hand and I start skipping toward the kiosk.
Cool. In the meantime, actually no, you go to the kiosk, and you go and order ice cream. So, which part here is the bit that takes you through?
Yeah, it's I think it's like when you I think there's this weird thing where like you have to ask for the ice cream, but something happens. Oh, I know the kind of thing it is. It's like it's this really like stupidly idyllic, idea of an Australian childhood thing. It's like you ask for ice cream and the person says something like there's some thing where because you're a kid, they like get you to come in and you get like an extra flake or something.
Right.
In your ice cream. Like it's like for those of you who aren't Australian, this won't quite make sense, but it's like in South Australia at least, if you take a kid to a butcher, the kid will get Fritz, which is like a sausage thing. The kid will get a slice of Fritz. Will get a slice of Fritz because they're a kid. That's what will happen. And this is like another of these things. It's like if you, the kid, go to the kiosk and you ask for an ice cream, you'll get like a special thing, and you can like go inside and you can put the flake on your ice cream. So it's when you go through that door that is like a gate to somewhere else.
Yeah. Right. So you go up and like the pop up person behind the thing is like 2 ice creams, and she's like, yes, two soft serves, thanks, and it's like, would you like a flake? And yeah, gives like, yes please, and then it's like, all right, come and get it, and like opens the door, and you go to walk in, and morning, where your voice was like sniffing out towards Tao in that moment of transition, you feel it turn sharply and move back in the direction of where you saw Give. Right? It turns back in that direction, as if it's picked up a scent of blood in the water.
Yeah,
And then
so
we go to break.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Back in a second, y'all. It will be like 5 minutes. All right. Bye.